Alright, we're back for round number 1. We won the roll and kept this hand, because we have the possibility of curving out. Having multiple Festering Newts out and a Blood Baron seems like the best thing ever, so... Alright, just gonna run out a Corpse Hauler, try to be as aggressive as possible. The one downside to playing the sacrifice heavy synergy deck is that you have to play a lot of underwhelming cards like 1/1s for 1 and 1/3s for 2 and whatnot. Fortunately, we have Sengir Vampire to mop up after we've attempted to dispatch their board. Sentinel Sliver, sure. So I will offer both trades. Alright, he does not take it as expected. And I'll drop a Blood Baron. Oh, I don't want to F6. If he attacks, I'd probably still go for the block and sack, even though he probably has something like Show of Valor. As soon as we can drop the second Festering Newt, we can kill a lot of the things on his board. We have a pretty aggressive start here, which is rare because I wasn't really considering our curve when I still had white in my deck, because I had like the Master of Diversions and whatnot. But again, we're sacrificing the consistency of a curve for the late game inevitability of having all the synergies that Mono Black has, because we have all the pieces for it. See, aren't you guys glad I took the Sengir Vampire third over other white and green options I could have gone with? Something I've been doing a lot more often now is abandoning my first few picks, reading the draft as much as I can, and as you can see, it pays off. At least here's hoping. Hopefully this isn't the 2/3 sliver, because that would be pretty bad. Ooh, that's a good one. Alright. Blue-white slivers. That's interesting. So I can just run out 2 guys from our hand, or I could like use the Corpse Hauler to get back Festering Newt. Let's Alpha Strike and see what happens before we decide. Because what we can do, depending on what he does, is we can sack the Festering Newt before damage, and then sack the Corpse Hauler also before damage to get back the Festering Newt. Assuming he blocks both, but we'll see what he does. He could just take this, which I would not mind. Alright, he does indeed. Yeah, let's just run out our hand. Could have also sacked the Festering Newt for 1 extra damage, but I'd rather keep him around for if we need to kill something, or provide fodder for our Blood Baron to do big things. We're also semi-immune to tricks right now. If he goes like Show of Valor or something, we can sack both our Festering... Ooh, okay, see, this is what I was talking about. I'm going to kill his Sentinel Sliver right now before it becomes a 2/3. Which does sacrifice a bit of our offense, but I think we need to do this. So sack our other Festering Newt. Now I can F6. Alright, so step 1 complete. Now we need to find like a Quag Sickness or something. If we can keep feeding this Blood Baron, we should be able to force through his guys. Attacking for 2. I'll block 1. Don't see what he could have. Guess he just wants the free damage, because he's probably not going to block with those anyway. Don't think there's much for one white he could have done there. Cool, now we get to drop a Sengir Vampire. So I guess I just attack the Blood Baron into it, and then sack. What do I want to sack? Maybe the play is to Corpse Hauler to get back a Festering Ute and then play it. Might be best, because this Corpse Hauler is kind of brick-walled by this 2-3 right now. I'm also a little worried about him having like a Sarah Angel or something big, like Armored Cantrix or something, to completely shut me down. So there's some consideration just running out the Vampire. This Gnawing Zombie isn't doing a whole lot. We don't need to be super defensive this game, because we've shored up his ground attack pretty well. So I think I'm still going to play the Vampire, and I assume he's not going to block this. I'll attack with this thing too. It's just free damage if he doesn't block it. Alright, that's fine. I'll keep it around for if I need to sack it later. I'm certainly not sacking my Sengir Vampire. So if I draw a Swamp, I can sack my Corpse Hauler, get back a Festering Ute, sack it to Gnawing Zombie to kill something and gain a life. That's unfortunate. But it's okay, because we have Festering Newt to finish it off. The second Blood Baron is usually worse than the first, surprisingly. I think I just send in with the Vampire, and then get back the Festering Newt post-combat. That works, right? Yeah, it does. Yeah, and this Vampire can't... Our Vampire doesn't die this turn, which is lucky. Could have attacked with the Blood Baron too, but I'd rather not have to sack two things for Wall of Shards. Or Swords. Well, I guess that would have worked too. But, whatever. Maybe he didn't see this play. So... return Festering Newt. Alright, I'm liking this so far. Oh, sweet, and Sengir Vampire triggers. I forgot about that. Oh man, it's even better. So what do we want to draw? I want to draw a Swamp and a Corrupt is what I want to draw. We have him on a 2-turn clock, so if he can't get rid of our Vampire, we're in good shape. If he can, we're pretty close to even, because he has card advantage over us. He can't attack. There's the Swamp. I'll hold on to it for now. I'll play the Blood Baron. If the game goes long, we can actually start... Oh, the other consideration is Celestial Flare. So, probably don't want to attack with this thing alone. So I'm going to send in this Blood Baron as well to play around that. And we can just sack the other Blood Baron if he blocks with the Steel Form. Yeah, as expected, he's just going to chump. I will let that happen. Unless he has a trick. Show of Valor, maybe? No? Alright. So he's dead next turn. We can just Alpha Strike with our Blood Barons and pump whichever one he doesn't block. Could also sack this Gnawing Zombie to itself for an extra point of damage, but that doesn't increase the clock at all, so I'd rather keep it around. Alright. Oh, good thing we won then, because we would have not gotten there for a while. Good stuff. What did we see that was scary? We're on the draw, so don't really want to bring in a underwhelming defensive body. Though it does trade with his Steel Form Sliver. This thing does literally nothing. It's just a worse Festering Newt. Shrivel kills his Hive Stirrings, so maybe there's some consideration to that. I didn't see any non-creature spells, so I could take out the Duress. Could end up being a dead card, but then again, Duress is also that way a lot of the time in limited. And since we're on the draw, at least having a miniature fog is not the worst thing either if he attacks with a bunch of slivers. And there's also just a blowout potential if he has multiple hive stirrings and whatever. So